Hi, all of you amazing people out there. My name is Susan Farmer, and I am with Astrology and Soul. I wanted to start a blog for a while now, and nothing just really has ever stuck or felt right. And I've come up with kind of a twist on some of the astrology and the energies. That means something to me that really fits my personality, and I hope it fits yours. What I'm going to do is a video on questions for reflection, and they're actually going to be based on some previous energies that have come through. And the questions are going to help you dig and reflect on maybe some of the stuff that happened through the past week or however long I do it. I'm planning on a week, but with me, things change often. So I have a Gemini Venus, if you know what that means. Anyway, things get boring and I have to change it up. So pull out a journal, pull out a recorder, pull out anything that will help you and take some of these questions and energies and look back. This one is going to be on the past week and see if you can come up. Something I feel strongly about, and that I'm actually putting a lot of products into the building stages right now, is to really help people identify and understand how the different energies feel, so that when something's happened, they can stop, and they have that emotional intelligence and built-in knowledge of, oh, this is what this is what it means for me, this is what it is, blah, 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 and really help them. My whole goal is just, gosh, life is crazy. I don't know what we were thinking when we signed up for it. And sometimes I just like want to tap out, right? Like, okay, I changed my mind. Anyway, I I just have found this to be such an amazing tool to help me put some understanding, and the way it builds and layers on one another is just amazing, and it can help tremendously in your life. And it has in mine. So hopefully it can help tremendously in your life, right? Maybe it's not for you. I will link. I don't want to delineate future. That's kind of my twist. I'm going to bring up questions that you can look at from energies that happened in the past. So I will link a couple of astrologers who I feel like do videos beforehand that are delineating and explaining and kind of telling you what to expect. Nadia Shah is one of those. She's who I started with, and I so appreciate that I started my astrology journey and my energy journey with her, just because she helps you really learn to fill them. And then Adam Ellenboss is another. So if you mix either one of those or someone you already watch and like with my videos of let's look back and reflect now, I really feel like you could get such a great grasp of what's playing out for you, just because everything is so layered. One of my bigger, I guess it's a pet peeve, I don't know, so is when people just want to say one, break it to one energy going on. And yes, I mean, one energy does actually affect what's going on, but it's kind of a whole. And so to do this type of video and look at the whole week, which is what I plan on doing, and throw some questions out there, should really help you put some things together. It has for me. I do this. So this is something I do, and I've been tracking transits now, God, for years, but my own personal, writing them out, my own personal every day for about a year. And when I shifted to this, asking myself questions, it's helped a lot. So I want to kind of go back over this past week. And this is from August 16th through August 22nd. And so it was a crazy week. And I know I say that a lot. It's like, so whenever people ask me, like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, it was a chaotic week. I feel like I've been saying that most of July and August. We did have a respite at the beginning of August where nothing really went down. It was around the new moon for, gosh, like 11 days. There wasn't really any big energies coming together. There was a new moon, but we did have those 11 days. Yet I still feel as though I'm always saying, gosh, it's chaotic. And I think it's because this summer, July and August for sure, have had some of the major energies of the year and some of the most active, crazy, all at once. July's full moon was very active. August full moon, we had, geez, let me look. I'm going to look because starting on the 18th, which was Sunday, and then the full moon was Monday. So from Sunday through Tuesday, the ones I have listed, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So very busy, very like bouncing from, oh, I feel this, and oh my gosh, now I feel that, and wow, what is going on, and wow, this just blew up, and now I'm like transitioning into something totally different, all with a full moon in there. So yeah, pretty chaotic. And we got through it, right? So that's kind of what I feel like in life. Like we get through it. So, but it is funny when people are, I can always tell when the energy is really hyper. I'm just going to say hyper and moving a lot, because people will say, I'll get phone calls, oh, this has been a day. And it's not that someone doesn't say that other times, they do. It just seems way more prevalent, and then they know what I do. So they want to know what's going on with the energy. What's this? What that? So let's dive in with this past week that has been a very, I know most astrologers have had this little block of days, outlined on their calendars for this year. And there's a good reason why. So we're going to move to the first question for reflection. And again, like grab a journal, write these down, speak them into your recorder. I text myself all the time, which is funny. The first question or reflection is, did I have an aha moment? There was energy this past week. It happened on Sunday, and it was Mercury retrograde squaring Uranus. That happened at 3:46 Mountain Time, and then at AM, and then at 7:58 that same day PM, Mercury and the sun came together into a midpoint, and that is a big deal in a retrograde. Now, I know we talk about Mercury retrograde and it happens often, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde again, blah, 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 but they really do serve a higher purpose. I'm not really going to get into that right now. We'll do that as we do these videos. And the midpoint is when Mercury and the sun come together. That is a big moment in the retrograde cycle. It's so Mercury squaring Uranus, and then what is it, like 12, 15 hours later, going into a conjunction with the sun, meant that you could get a very fast, quick insight that would really serve you. Now, you may rethink it just because we are in a Mercury retrograde and there may be more to come. But Mercury is the mind, and Mercury is fairly neutral. It's just trying to relay information. It could also have to do with siblings, communication, there's a lot. It's not only in your mind, but because the sun is involved with Mercury, I'm going to say it is about you. The sun is you. It's your goals. It's how you're trying to move through this life and some of the things you're trying to accomplish and who you are and who you want to be. So it could have all those other things, Mercury items surrounding it, like siblings and communication, and Mercury retrograde things like missed texts and blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to stick more with, like, did I have an aha moment? Like, what was it? And I had one I didn't even realize. I'm getting to a point in my life where if something happens, even as small as, like, I have this idea. Oh my gosh, I really like it. Wow, this fit. That's actually when I was like, I was trying to do these videos and just something wasn't feeling right for me. It happened more on the full moon, so within like 12 hours of this, but I felt this idea, like, that's really, prediction I like and whatever, but I really want to help people learn it, feel it, grow it. I'm actually going to start classes on this, and I'm putting together a beta group to help me create this program. That is something I truly love. So that would totally fit. Like, in my mind, I had this aha moment of, wow, I want to do this. I want people to sit and reflect and journal or talk through it. I always say talk through it too, because writing is not some people's cup of tea, right? So you can dictate to your computer. You can, there's lots of things. You can do a recording on your phone. You can write. If writing's good, writing's good for me because I always hear things in my head, and I do not censor my writing whatsoever. So a lot of stuff comes out that's subconscious for me. Right along with that question is, so did you have that aha moment? And then has something before that, and I'm going to go before that, did something come between me, you, and getting something done that you were trying to get done? That maybe the aha moment connected to. For me, yes. Now, sometimes, and I have been, I'm going to tell you, I've been criticized for talking about me too much in astrology things. And guess what? I'm the only one I know, and I'm the only one I have to experience. So if you don't like that, probably don't watch my channel. I was super paranoid for it forever. And I was always like, this isn't about me. And da 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 da. And then I was like, God, who else do I have to talk about? These are my experiences. And this is how I learned it. And this is, I can only share my experiences for you to learn it and come up with your own experiences. And please email. I would love to share them so that people can get other perspectives. So, did something come between you and getting something done that possibly had to do with the aha moment? It may not have. Mercury retrogrades are fantabuloso at stopping you when you really need to think about something. So when I sat down to do these first videos, I sat down, was ready. I had cleared out an entire day because I had video sessions I needed to do as well. I am about to press play, and I start hearing things like it's an earthquake or elephants are running on my head. And I had roofers show up to re-roof my roof, clearly. But I didn't know they were coming. So here I had this whole day, not for this video, but I had a bunch of video sessions I had put off. I had a really busy week, and I had this whole time. And funny enough, the company that I had contracted to do my roof had been texting me and emailing me not emailing, sorry, take it back, texting the wrong number. In the contract, my number was right on 99.9999999 places. You fill out your phone number, you have to sign and your name and the date and the phone number. And it was input because it was a DocuSign. And one out of, I swear it was in there anywhere between 30 and 50 times. That's the one they put in their phone. And so they had not been getting a response from me. So I had no idea. And this was early. They were not supposed to be here for at least another weekish. So Mercury retrograde, I didn't even know they were coming. Mercury retrograde, I sat down to video a video, which is technology, give information, Mercury retrograde. And I couldn't, I was stopped, and I still kept trying to push through and just do a video anyway. And I sent it to my awesome, lovely assistant editor, everything. And we were both like, something does not feel right. Something just feels off. So if you had an experience like that, and it's going to be different from mine. And what's even funny is the Mercury retrograde is in Leo and Virgo this time. And those are at the very top of my chart, roof. So the top of my chart slowed me down. And it slowed me down because a few days later, I had an aha moment of what is right now feeling way better and way more in line with me, which I came to that realization as Mercury and the Sun were coming together and also squaring Uranus. So I was like, oh, something isn't feeling right. The videos have been on my mind. Like, I really want to throw this out there. And it came. Now, there's going to be, just because it's a Mercury retrograde, I suspect I'm going to be revisiting some of these topics and how I do it. But it's also something I'm revisiting because I've done them before, and I just have never felt into the niche or whatever, my niche, whatever that is. And here I am. This is already just feeling so much better. So kind of think about your past week and a half. Has something happened like that? I mean, that's pretty simple stuff if you think about it. Like, okay, someone just showed up to do my roof. That's like, these things don't have to be these big, huge, monumental things. But if you start feeling how they hit you, it's like, oh, the gods or the universe or my angels or whatever your verbiage is, they're talking to me. I could feel it in the video, and I was like, no, I'm doing it anyway. I'm doing it. I'm not putting this off. I'm pushing through, and I'm not listening. Go away. And it just did not work out. And I remember thinking later that day, when I just finally gave up on doing video recordings, I was like, I should have just listened this morning. Because is something slowing you down? Is it? And what are you trying to not think about? Hermes, Mercury, he's called the trickster. And really, it slows you down on purpose. So, not talking about me, I have watched Mercury retrogrades for years now, and I'm very in tune to them. So when I remember someone showing up at my house and being like, oh my gosh, I can hurt, like they were walking like this. So they were fine the day before, and then they woke up and their neck was slowing them down. I'm like, oh, that's got to be in a part of your chart that specify the body. And it was. I was just like, wow, this is so cool. My favorite ones, if you're trying to think, so I've had a few, and they all fit with the house. If you know the house it's happening in, and you know where your Mercury is in your chart, you can put it together better. My two favorite, and it just seems like it's always slowing me down, is I had to get somewhere super fast, and I went out to leave, and my tire was completely flat. My kids were here, they fixed it. But like I couldn't go wherever I was supposed to go, and it was at night. So like I was out. I just couldn't go. And after my kids fixed it, there was absolutely nothing wrong with the tire. Nothing. Another one was my washing machine wouldn't work. And I had loads and loads. I can't remember why, if we were moving or going. I don't even remember. But I had to get this laundry done for some reason, and something happened, and then the washing machine was fine as soon as I sat down. It's almost like Mercury saying, sit down, think. What are you trying not to think about? What are you trying to push away? What is subconsciously coming up? And you're like, and he makes you sit down and really think about it. So that is our first question for reflection of this